The days after the truth came out were quiet. People across the galaxy waited to see what the council would do next. For the first time in weeks, there were no angry protests or calls for war. News reporters spoke calmly about the investigation into Jerian and his group. Some ambassadors stepped down from their positions, saying it was time for new voices. Others stayed and promised to listen better. On Earth, Lucas was finally allowed to speak again. His orders were clear: join new talks with the council, but only if Earth's terms were respected. Lucas felt nervous but hopeful. He wanted to fix the broken trust. He called Grace, who was still on the moon, and told her the good news. "We can talk, but we must do it our way," he said. Grace smiled for the first time in a long while. Council Leader Vero sent a message to Earth. He apologized for the past mistakes and for the attack on human systems. He invited Lucas and Grace to join a new meeting, but this time, everyone would be equal. Varro also invited the group of ordinary humans to speak with the council. He wanted everyone in the galaxy to see that Earth's voice was not just that of leaders, but of its people. Kira was chosen to represent her world in the new talks. She felt excited and a little scared. She thought about all she had learned from her friendship with Grace. Kira prepared a short speech about trust and patience. She hoped her words would help bring peace. The first new meeting took place in a large virtual chamber. The walls showed scenes from many worlds. Lucas, Grace, and 3 other humans joined from different places on Earth. Alina and Kira joined from their homeworld. Varro and other council members listened quietly. Lucas spoke first. He thanked the council for the apology and said, "Earth wants to work together, but we need honesty and respect." He explained why humans were silent for so long. He talked about old betrayals and the pain they cause. He said, "We do not want to fight. We want to heal." Grace spoke next. She told a story about helping a lost alien child during a past council event. She said, "We are all different, but we all feel pain. When we listen, we learn. When we wait, we heal." Her words made many people think. Kira's turn came. She looked at the faces on her screen and said, "I was afraid of humans at first, but now I know that silence can mean wisdom, not anger. We must give each other time." She shared how her friendship with Grace had changed her views. Alina told the council that true peace could only come with new rules and better understanding. She suggested that every council world send ordinary citizens to future meetings, not just leaders. She said, "The galaxy is full of voices. We should hear them all." Varro agreed. He announced that the council would change its rules. Every planet, even the smallest, would have a chance to speak. He also promised to make records of all meetings open to the public. This way, there could be no more secrets or lies. Across the galaxy, people watched the new meeting on their screens. Many felt hope for the first time in a long while. On the moon, Grace's friends hugged her and cheered. On Earth, Lucas's family called to say how proud they were. Kira's teacher, Alina, wrote her a message that said, "You did well. I am proud of you." Old council members who did not want change stepped down. They were replaced by younger, more open-minded ambassadors. The atmosphere at the council became warmer. People smiled more. There were still disagreements, but now everyone listened. Grace and Kira kept meeting in the digital garden. Sometimes other humans and aliens joined them. They talked about food, games, and music. They shared dreams for the future. Grace helped. Kira learned a human song, and Kira taught Grace how to cook a meal from her world. Lucas and Alina became friends too. They worked together on new projects, exchange visits, school programs, and art shows. Soon, children from many worlds began writing letters to each other. The walls between species started to come down. New stories changed. Instead of fear and suspicion, the headlines spoke of hope. People from different worlds started visiting each other again. Tourists came to Earth to see its blue oceans and green forests. Humans traveled to distant planets to explore strange cities and taste new foods. Some memories of the past still hurt. There were arguments and setbacks, but the new talks helped. Everyone moved forward. When problems came up, the council dealt with them openly. There were no more secrets. Kira gave a final speech at the end of the talks. She said, "We are not the same, but we are not alone. We need each other. If we listen and wait, we can build a future where everyone belongs." Her words were shared across the galaxy. That night, Grace stood on the moon and looked at Earth. Shining in the sky, she thought about how much had changed. She knew there was still work to do, but she felt proud to be human. She hoped that the new trust would last for many years to come. In a hidden corner of the Galaxy Council's main building, Ambassador Jerian sat with his closed eyes. The group had decided to do something bold. Their plan was to get into human communication systems and spread messages that would scare both the humans and the rest of the galaxy. Jerian believed that if people were afraid, they would demand action. He did not trust the humans, and now he did not trust the Council's leaders either. They sent their best hackers to break into the human network. The hackers were careful and fast, but they did not know how strong human security really was. In a dark room on Earth, a team of human security officers noticed something strange on their screens. An alarm sounded. The team moved quickly, blocking the attack and tracing its origin back to Council space. The humans watched, collected evidence, and prepared a quiet answer. Lucas was called into a high-security meeting. He listened as the security chief explained what happened. Someone from the council tried to create panic by sending false messages in our name. They wanted to make us look like a threat. Lucas felt angry, but he kept his voice calm. He was given new orders. Share the truth with the council, but remain polite and firm. Lucas wrote a careful message to council leader Varro, explaining the attack and demanding an explanation. The message arrived at the Galaxy Council and caused chaos. Many ambassadors were shocked. Some could not believe anyone from the council would risk such a thing. Varro called an emergency session. In the main chamber, the news was read out loud. Jerian's face turned pale. He denied any wrongdoing, but the security team quickly found proof. Varro felt sad. He had always tried to keep the peace, but now even the council was full of mistrust. Alina spoke to the ambassadors. She said, "The humans did not respond with anger or war. They simply asked for the truth. This is a sign of wisdom." Some council members started to see things differently. They realized that humans were not the only ones who could make mistakes. They saw that silence did not mean aggression. It meant caution and careful watching. On the moon, Grace saw news of the attack on her screen. She felt nervous at first, but when she read the message Lucas sent, she smiled a little. She realized that humans could defend themselves without violence. She wrote to Kira, "We are safe. There was an attack, but we stopped it." Lucas told the truth, and now the council has to think. Kira replied, "I'm glad. I hope this brings peace." People across the galaxy listened to the council session. On one world, a teacher said to her class, "Sometimes the quiet ones are the strongest." On another world, a group of young people marched in the streets, holding signs that said trust must be earned. Jerian and his allies were forced to answer for what they did. The council suspended them while an investigation started. Some ambassadors were angry at Jerian, but others wondered if they themselves had made mistakes too. For the first time in weeks, the council hall was quieter. The tension changed to embarrassment and reflection. Lucas's message was read on every major channel. He did not shout or threaten. He only told the facts. On Earth, people felt proud of how their leaders handled the crisis. On the moon, Grace felt a little more hope. She walked outside the base and looked up at the stars, feeling that maybe things will get better now. Kira wanted to do more. She asked Alina if she could speak at the council. Alina helped her write a speech. Kira stood in the chamber and said, "Humans stayed silent because they did not trust us. Now, after what happened, we see why trust is hard. But trust can be rebuilt if we listen and learn." Her words made many ambassadors think. As the days passed, talk of war grew quieter. People started to talk about understanding and new beginnings. News shows interviewed ordinary humans and aliens who wanted peace. In one show, Grace spoke about her friendship with Kira and how small acts of kindness could change the galaxy. She said, "Sometimes, when you wait and listen, you learn more than by shouting." Ambassador Varro called another meeting, this time to discuss how to prevent such problems in the future. He said, "The galaxy is big and we are all different, but we can learn from each other." For the first time in many years, council members listened without yelling. They asked questions and tried to understand. At night, Grace and Kira met, again in the digital garden. They talked about the changes they had seen. Kira said, "I am not afraid anymore. I think we can build something better." Grace smiled and agreed. The human silence was now seen as a wise choice, not an insult. The galaxy started to understand that Earth was not looking for a fight. They only wanted respect and a chance to heal. On Earth, Lucas met with reporters and answered questions with patience. He explained why the humans acted the way they did and what they hoped for the future. Jarian watched all of this from his small room, feeling regret. He realized that fear and suspicion had only made things worse. He wished he could go back and change his actions, but it was too late. The council would never be the same. But for everyone else, a new feeling of hope grew. On the moon, Grace looked at the blue planet in the sky and felt a little lighter. Kira, on her homeworld, shared stories of her human friend with her family. People everywhere began to believe that the galaxy could change for the better, one quiet step at a time. News of the failed Envoy mission spread fast across the galaxy. On distant planets and giant space stations, people woke up to the latest reports about Earth. Many felt shocked that even respected diplomats like Alina could not break the humans. Silence. The story became the top headline on all networks. Some said the council was losing its power. Others blamed the humans for being stubborn. On some planets, small protests started. Crowds gathered outside council offices, holding signs that said, "Talk or leave, and humans bring trouble." In busy cities, debates filled every cafe and classroom. Young students argued about whether Earth's silence was brave or foolish. In the main chamber of the council, tempers rose. Several ambassadors blamed council leader Varro for not forcing the humans to speak. Varro listened quietly. He felt the weight of every word and every angry stare. Lucas watched all of this from his small office on Earth. He received hundreds of messages, some from alien diplomats, some from worried humans, some from his own government. Most said the same thing. What happens now? Lucas did not know what to say. His orders were to keep silent. He drank coffee and watched the lights of the city. He thought about all the things that could go wrong. On the moon, Grace spent more and more time alone. She wanted to help, but there was nothing she could do. She missed her family and her friends. She sometimes watched old news videos from before the silence, back when humans and aliens worked together. She wondered if things could ever be the same. Across the galaxy, Ambassador Jarian grew more restless. He was angry that Alina had failed. He met with his friends in secret again. "The humans are playing with us," he said. "We must act before they make us look weak." Some agreed. Others wanted to wait. Jarian made a private call to a contact on a distant planet, asking if they could find a way to force the humans' hand. Kira kept sending messages to Grace. Most days, Grace did not answer. But one night, she wrote back, "It is hard. We are told to do nothing, but everyone is afraid." Kira wanted to help her friend, but she felt powerless. She showed Alina the message. Alina told her, "Sometimes things get worse before they get better. Trust your friendship." Back at the Galaxy Council, an emergency meeting was called. The main chamber was full. Ambassadors from every world shouted for attention. "We cannot let Earth ignore us," one said. "Maybe we should ban them from the council," another argued. Varro tried to bring calm. He said, "Let us not act in anger. We must find a way forward." He ordered the security team to monitor all council communications closely, looking for signs of trouble. On Earth, human intelligence teams were also busy. They watched alien news channels and intercepted secret messages. One night, they found a strange signal. Someone from the council was sending codes to unknown ships near Mars. The humans did not know what it meant, but they were worried. Lucas received the report and sent it to his superiors. He waited for new orders, hoping this was not a sign of war. In many human cities, people became anxious. Some worried about another invasion or an alien attack. Others feared their leaders were hiding the truth. On the news, experts argued about every detail. Some said humans should answer the council. Others said silence was the only way to stay safe. In one small town, a mother comforted her child, saying, "We have lived through worse. We will get through this too." Jirian's group met again, this time in the dark halls of an old council building. "If the humans will not talk, we must make them," Jirian said. "We could send ships, or maybe find a way to scare them." One ambassador disagreed. She said, "If we push too hard, we might start a war." But Jirian would not listen. He sent a coded message to a group of rogue ships on the edge of council space, asking them to prepare for action. On the moon, Grace watched ships come and go. She noticed that some were not on the normal schedule. She asked her boss about it, but only got a short reply. "Security reasons? Do not worry." Grace still worried. She wrote a message to Lucas. "Something is happening. I hope you are safe." Lucas wrote back, "I'm watching. Stay strong." He wanted to say more, but he did not know what the future would bring. Kira, feeling sad and helpless, visited the digital garden again. She invited Grace, who joined her this time. They talked about the stars and their hopes for peace. Kira said, "Maybe if we show everyone how we feel, things will change." Grace agreed. She said, "Even small voices matter." On distant worlds, some people began to question the council's wisdom. A group of young aliens wrote a letter asking for patience and understanding. It was shared widely, giving hope to those who wanted peace. But as the days passed, tension only grew. Jirian's message reached the rogue ships. They began to move closer to Earth, hidden in the shadows of asteroids. One night, a strange alarm rang out at the human base on the moon. Security officers ran through the halls. Grace saw them and felt her heart race. She messaged Kira, "Something is wrong. I am scared." Kira replied, "I am here. Do not be afraid." At the same time, Lucas received a call from his superiors. "Prepare for all possibilities," the voice said. "Do not break the silence, but be ready." Back at the Galaxy Council, Varro heard whispers of Jirian's plan. He called Alina to his office and asked her what she thought. Alina said, "We need to give humans time. If we force them, we may lose more than just their friendship." Varro listened and nodded. He told the security team to watch Jirian and his friends closely. In the quiet of her room, Grace looked out at Earth shining in the sky. She felt both fear and hope. She thought about her new friend Kira, about Lucas, and about all the people waiting for answers. As the sun rose over Earth and 1,000 different worlds, the galaxy faced a moment of great uncertainty. No one knew what would happen next. But even in the middle of fear and anger, a few voices whispered for peace, hoping someone would hear them before it was too late. The Galaxy Council was growing restless. Days turned into a week, and still the human seats remained empty. Council leader Varro called a special session, his voice heavy and serious. "We must try something new," he said. The council voted and agreed to send a direct envoy to Earth. This was not a normal step, but the usual rules did not seem to matter anymore. Ambassador Alina was chosen to lead the mission. She was respected for her calm mind and her strong belief in peace. Kira, the young observer, was invited to join as an assistant. Kira felt both excited and afraid. She knew this mission was important. Their small team included other peaceful diplomats and translators. Together, they left the council building and boarded a shining silver ship. The journey to Earth was quiet. Alina prepared her notes and asked Kira to study human customs. Kira watched videos of humans talking and laughing. She read stories about their art and music, and she wondered why such an interesting people now stayed silent. The ship passed through the gate near Mars and soon entered Earth's orbit. Alina sent a message requesting to meet with Earth's leaders. For hours, there was no reply. Finally, the team was told to land at a small spaceport near a blue lake. There were no guards, no great welcome, just a simple landing pad. The ship touched down and the doors opened. Alina led her team out. Instead of meeting government officials, they were greeted by a group of regular people: farmers, teachers, workers, and children. The humans smiled, but their eyes were watchful. Alina stepped forward and introduced herself. She said, "We come from the Galaxy Council. We wish to speak with your leaders." A tall man with kind eyes answered, "Our leaders are busy. We are here to speak for Earth." The diplomats were surprised. They expected formal talks, but instead they were given simple chairs on the grass. A woman offered them cold water and fresh bread. Kira sat beside a boy her age. He talked about soccer and his school, but would not answer any questions about the council. Alina tried to start the talks. She asked, "Why has Earth used to answer the council?" A grandmother with white hair replied, "Last time we trusted the council, many people were hurt. Our city still remembered the pain. Now we choose to be silent until trust is rebuilt." Alina listened carefully. She felt the honesty in their voices. Kira watched the people. She saw that they were friendly but did not want to speak about the past or about council business. It was as if the humans had decided to close a door. Alina asked, "Is there anything we can do to make things better?" The people only smiled and offered more bread. Back on the ship that night, Alina wrote her report. She said, "Earth's people are united in their silence. They wish to protect themselves. The wounds from old betrayals are deep." Kira added her own thoughts. "The humans are not angry. They are careful. They are waiting." Meanwhile, Lucas and Grace followed the mission's news from their own stations. Lucas read the reports and felt a strange relief. The council was finally seeing the truth of Earth's feelings. Grace watched videos of the picnic by the lake. She saw that the humans had been gentle and kind, even if they did not want to talk. Alina's report was sent to the council. Many ambassadors were confused. Some could not understand why humans would use ordinary people instead of leaders. Jarian was angry. He thought the humans were trying to show that the council did not matter. He told his group, "We must push harder. This is a game." But other ambassadors began to think differently. They saw that Earth was not planning an attack. The humans were not building weapons. They were simply refusing to trust the council. Some said, "Maybe we should wait. Maybe the humans will talk when they are ready." In the days that followed, Alina and her team were invited to visit a small town. They stayed in a simple hotel and ate in the local restaurant. The people told stories of their lives. No one talked about the council. At night, Kira walked by the lake and watched the stars. She wrote to Grace, "Earth is not what I expected. It is peaceful and strong. I feel safe here, but I also feel the wall between us." One evening, a young girl gave Kira a small flower. She said, "When people are hurt, they need time to heal. Our silence is how we heal." Kira thanked her and kept the flower. She realized that humans were teaching her something new, not through words, but through actions. After a week, Alina decided it was time to return to the council. She gathered her team and said goodbye to the humans. The townspeople smiled and waved, but did not invite them back. As the ship rose into the sky, Kira looked down at the blue lake and the green fields. She promised herself to remember what she had learned. On the flight back, Alina and Kira talked about the future. Alina said, "We must tell the Council the truth. Earth will not talk until the Council is honest about the past." Kira agreed. She felt that her friendship with Grace was a small step towards something better. When they arrived at the galaxy Council, ambassadors gathered to hear the report. Some were angry, some were sad, but many were silent. Varro thanked Alina and Kira. He said, "Maybe now we must wait. The humans are not enemies. They are simply wounded." All over the galaxy, news spread about the envoy's visit. Some people laughed at the Council. Others admired the humans for standing strong. Grace and Lucas exchanged a quiet message. Maybe we are changing the galaxy just by being patient. And on Earth, the people went back to their daily lives. The silence continued, but now it felt a little less heavy. There was a new understanding. The first step to healing had been taken, even if it was only a small one. In the quiet shadows of the Council building, many ambassadors whispered to each other after every meeting. Some thought the silence from the humans was a message of anger. Others believed the humans were planning something big. The galaxy was full of rumors. On some worlds, the news called it the human problem. People wanted answers, but no one had any. Ambassador Jerian did not sleep much these days. He was worried. Jerian came from a world where peace was hard to keep, and he remembered wars caused by small misunderstandings. He called his closest friends for a secret meeting in his quarters. The group sat around a small table. One ambassador with bright orange feathers said, "The humans are hiding something." Another, with shimmering silver skin, said, "They may be waiting for the right moment to surprise us." Jerian listened and nodded. He told them, "We must be careful. We must learn the truth before things get worse." On the moon, Grace spent her days reading reports and listening to messages from other bases. She felt alone, but she did not show it. Grace wrote notes about every little change she noticed. She saw that the other embassies sent many messages to their homeworlds. The human embassy sent almost nothing. Grace wanted to ask Lucas about it, but her orders were clear. No talking about council matters except with her boss. She watched the earth and the sky, wondering if her family was worried about her. One afternoon, Grace was working late when she got a message from an unknown source. It was from Kira, the young alien observer she had seen at the council. Kira was curious and polite. The message said, "Why do the humans not speak? Is something wrong?" Grace wanted to be honest, but did not know what to say. She replied, "I don't know the real reason. Maybe we are careful. Maybe we do not trust the council yet." Kira was on her homeworld, thousands of light years away. She read Grace's message and showed it to her teacher, Ambassador Alina. Alina thought for a moment and said, "Sometimes silence is wise, but it can also be dangerous." Kira added this to her notes. She wanted to understand humans, but every answer brought more questions. On Earth, Lucas walked through the city at night, trying to clear his mind. He saw children playing in the park and old people talking on benches. Life went on as usual, but he felt the weight of the silence. Lucas received a private message from General Harper, a leader in Earth's Defense Council. The message said, "Stay silent. Watch everything. Trust no one." Lucas deleted the message and sighed. He knew the humans had good reasons to be careful, but he wondered if it would make things better or worse. At the Galaxy Council, more and more ambassadors grew frustrated. Some of them tried to contact the humans in secret. A tall ambassador with a long white robe sent a message to Lucas's office. It said, "We wish to talk in private. Please answer." Lucas saw the message, but did not reply. He was not allowed. On many worlds, the people talked about the humans in the streets, in schools, and at family dinners. Some feared a new war. Others hoped the humans would leave the council for good. Still, others believed the humans had a secret plan that would soon be revealed. Children drew pictures of human ships and imagined great battles. Merchants sold small toys shaped like human soldiers. The mystery grew bigger every day. Kira decided to do more research. She read about human history, their wars and their peace. Treaties. She was surprised by how many times humans had suffered, yet still survived. She asked her teacher, "Are humans more dangerous when they are silent, or when they are loud?" Alina answered, "Humans are strong when they work together. Their silence now means they are working together for something." Kira wrote that in her notebook. Grace received another message from Kira. This time, Kira asked, "Do you want to meet me in the virtual gardens?" Grace smiled. She needed a friend, even if it was an alien from far away. She agreed. They met in a digital garden where the sky was always blue and the flowers never faded. They talked about small things, music, family, food. Then Kira said, "I hope the humans will talk soon. I want to learn from you." Grace replied, "I hope so too. Maybe things will get better." Back at the council, Jarian and his friends made a list of all the things humans had done in the past, good and bad. They tried to find a pattern. Jarian said, "When humans feel threatened, they wait and watch. They act only when they are." Sure, this worried the group. They started to plan what to do if the humans never spoke again. On the moon, Grace noticed more ships arriving at the human base. She was not told why. She wondered if her leaders were planning to leave the council. She sent a short message to her boss, asking for advice, but only got a reply that said, "Follow orders." Lucas worked late into the night, reading reports from human intelligence. The reports showed strange signals from other worlds, hints that some aliens wanted to provoke a fight. Lucas sent a warning to the Defense Council. He told them to watch carefully. He worried that one small mistake could start something terrible. Kira, still at her home, made a video call to Grace. She said, "I want to help you. I want to make sure there is no war." Grace thanked her. For the first time in many days, she felt hope. But not everyone wanted peace. In the shadows of the council, a few ambassadors made secret plans. Jarian listened, but did not speak. He thought maybe we should be the ones to act first. He wondered if waiting was more dangerous than doing something. As the stars moved across the sky, the galaxy waited. Some people grew more afraid. Others grew more angry. But in a small digital garden, two friends from different worlds promised to trust each other, even when their leaders did not. A strange tension filled the main chamber of the Galaxy Council. The grand hall was built from polished stones that shimmered under the many-colored lights. Every seat in the chamber was taken. Ambassadors from many worlds sat in their places. Some had feathers or scales. Some had smooth blue skin or big shining eyes. All waited for the same thing. Everyone was waiting for the human delegation to arrive. At the center of the chamber, Council Leader Varro watched the clock on the wall. Time moved slowly, and every minute that passed without the humans arriving made the tension worse. Varro, whose skin was pale and whose eyes were deep black, pressed a button to open a channel. A soft voice spoke from a speaker. Still no answer from the human embassy leader. Varro thanked the assistant and closed the channel. He tried to hide his worry, but everyone in the room could see the lines on his face. It had never happened before. In the past, humans always sent someone, even if they were late. But now, for 3 days, the humans had not replied, not even a message or a polite refusal. The other ambassadors began to talk quietly to each other. Their words sharp and worried. At the back of the chamber, a young alien named Kira watched everything with wide eyes. Kira was a student and had come to the council as an observer. She wrote down everything she saw in a small notebook. She did not understand why the humans were missing. On her own world, meetings were very important, and it was rude to ignore them. She looked at her teacher, Ambassador Alina, who shook her head as if she did not know the answer. On Earth, far from the council chamber, people watched the news on their screens. The biggest story was always the same. The Galaxy Council waited. But the humans did not go. Some people thought it was a mistake. Others thought it was a plan. In a small office in New York, human ambassador Lucas sat at his desk. The light from the city outside shone through the window. Lucas read the messages from the council, but did not reply. He looked tired. His eyes were red from not sleeping enough. He poured himself a cup of coffee and stared at the news reports. Lucas remembered the last council meeting. He remembered the way the other ambassadors looked at him, always with questions, always trying to understand humans, but never trusting them. He picked up his communicator, then put it down again. Lucas had orders not to reply. The orders came from people higher than him. He did not know all the reasons, but he trusted his leaders. He tried to focus on other work, but he could not stop thinking about the silence and what it might cause. In a small human base, young diplomat Grace sat alone at her table. Grace watched the council feed on her screen. She saw the empty seats where the humans should be. She wondered why her own leaders refused to go. Grace knew that the council sometimes made unfair decisions. She knew that there were old wounds, old betrayals. Still, she felt uneasy. She wanted to call her friend Lucas and ask, but she was not allowed to speak about council matters with anyone except her boss. Meanwhile, on many other worlds, people and aliens argued about the humans. Some said the humans were proud that they wanted to show they did not need the council. Some thought the humans were hiding something. Others said the humans were afraid. On one world, a news channel showed pictures of human cities with big headlines that said, "What are they planning?" Ambassador Alina tried to calm her colleagues. She said, "Let us wait. The humans are careful. They have good reasons." But Jarian, another ambassador, did not agree. Jarian was from a world where trust had to be earned. He told his friends, "Something is wrong. Humans are planning something. We must be ready." Back in the council chamber, Varl decided to send another message. He asked his assistant to write a polite request for the humans to join the talks. The message was sent to Earth and to the human bases on the Moon and Mars. But again, there was no answer. On Earth, people tried to guess what their leaders were doing. In a cafe, two workers talked about the news. One said, "Maybe the council wants to trick us." The other replied, "Maybe we just don't trust them anymore." On the street, a group of students carried signs. The sign said, "No more council lies." Lucas watched the news and felt the pressure. He wanted to do something, but he was told to wait. He knew that sometimes saying nothing was a message. He wondered what the other ambassadors were thinking. He wondered if the silence would bring peace or trouble. In the darkness of space, a ship from the Jarian homeworld made a secret call. "Keep watching the humans," the captain said. "Report anything strange." Back on the moon, Grace went for a walk. She looked at Earth and the sky and thought about her family. She wondered if the silence was the right choice. She hoped no one would get hurt because of it. On Kira's world, children asked their parents, "Why are the humans so quiet?" The parents had no answers. All across the galaxy, from cold ice planets to warm green worlds, people waited. The silence from Earth was like a wall. It made some people angry, and it made others afraid. The days passed. The council chamber stayed full, but the humans never came. More rumors began to grow. Some said the humans were building weapons. Some said they were planning to leave the council forever. Some believed the humans would come back, but only when they were ready. Kira finished her notes and looked up at her teacher. "Will the humans come back?" she asked. Alina smiled gently. "I think they will, but only when they feel safe." As the sun set on Earth, Lucas looked out his window. He saw the city lights below. He hoped that silence was the right answer. He hoped the galaxy would understand. And somewhere far away, the council leader Var wrote a final message, hoping the humans would reply. The galaxy waited, and the silence grew deeper, like the space between the stars.